when I die, I want you to put my ashes in a bowl of Wendy's chili, and I want you to eat it so I can tear that ass up one last time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumpster Diving. I'm Nate Hampton, along with my other host, Brandon Barber.
Hello, everyone.
Say hello, Brandon. And now for our first guest, we got Kobe Evans, who's just a childhood friend of ours. So, today we're going to be... last week we had a mourning. We lost somebody very close and dear to our heart. It was Mr. Peanut. So, fuck. What was I going to say?
God, man, I have to say some shit about Mr. Peanut. I've been having nightmares every day since Sunday that the Kool-Aid Man was going to come and make everyone come back from the dead with his tears. And that would be the start of the zombie apocalypse.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Did you not see? That's exactly how Mr. Peanut got revived.
Yeah, I mean,
Kool-Aid
I didn't
Man's
see the Super
tears.
Bowl ad. I just knew that he was back, and he was like a little seed.
Mm-hmm. The Kool-Aid Man cried, and a new Mr. Peanut came out of the grave.
Yeah. So all our mourning is now being rejoiced, in my eyes at least. All I know is he's back.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Who is Mr. Peanut?
It's a Planter's Peanut guy.
Oh.
The guy with the monocle who sells other peanuts. Nothing more capitalist than a peanut selling its brothers.
Oh. Wow. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that was his name. I knew of him.
Yeah, he's Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, he's like the one and only Mr. Peanut.
Well,
sounds
not
like
anymore. Now there's two.
There's two.
Yeah, there's two. The Super Bowl ad, from what I saw, they were at his funeral, and Wesley Snipes was saying a few words about how Mr. Peanut died saving him. And I just know the Kool-Aid Man was there crying along with, what's his name, Mr. Clean? Mr. Clean was there, and the Kool-Aid guy shed a tear, and it landed landed by his coffin, and it soaked up like a seed from Mr. Peanut, and now there's a baby Mr. Peanut.
All right, so before we start anything, I think that we need to do some house cleaning. At the middle of last week's episode, Logan left because he told a story that he didn't want anyone to hear. And he left in the middle of the podcast, and at the very end, I said that we didn't know whether he was going to come back or not, and we have confirmation that he is not going to come back. So, Nate, how do you feel about that?
It was his decision to leave, and all I know is I thought it was pretty unprofessional. But me and him, we've talked it out. Everything's fine. There's no any kind of drama between me and him or anything like that. But for now, we're just gonna probably cycle through guests every once in a while, and then just stick to just being just me and Brandon for a chunk of the time.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, there's no hard feelings between Logan and us. Anyway, I realized that in neither of the previous episodes we had talked about where you can actually find this podcast, and there was some decisions that had to be made on whether or not we would put it on YouTube, but we have decided that it will be going up. And we're also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and anywhere else that you get your podcasts. We're going to be posting every Monday morning or every other Monday morning. Let's see here. What else do we have? We have a email now, so you can write in if you want us to talk about anything, or if you have any suggestions on what we could do better, or if you want to write something to be said aloud on the show, you can do that, and that email is dumpsterdivingpodcast@gmail.com. And that wraps up our house cleaning, Nate. Is there anything else you would want to say?
No, not anything like on the lines of that. Kobe, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. Well, my name is Kobe. Yes, Kobe, like Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. I've always wanted to be on podcasts, and I greatly, greatly appreciate y'all letting me be the first guest on here.
Yeah, it's no problem. We're glad to have you.
That's awesome. I just pretty much do maintenance work. I listen to music religiously, constantly, all the time. Play games when I can, and recently just got back into watching movies. Yeah, I mean, I got a pretty foul mouth, so if language disturbs you, be warned. And yeah, that's about it.
So, you wanted to talk about some certain things. So you have some party stories that you wanted to talk about, right?
I do, because I'm a firm believer that while you are in high school and college, or pretty much until you're about 40, you need to find a close group of friends and you need to do some crazy shit. So
absolutely, I
love talking about that and hearing other people. So if anybody's got any party stories, we can talk about that right now.
I don't really like, besides having like New Year's parties and stuff like that, but I've been like completely like blackout. I don't remember anything. There's just like video evidence of what happened.
Oh yeah, that's with me. Like a lot of it is just from shit I've been told the next day, and then I try to recollect my memories and then put together what I've been told, and that's where these stories are coming from.
Yeah, like I know this upcoming New Year's, I got off work. I had to work until like 8 o'clock, so I still had time to, just go and hang out. So I went to my buddies, and instantly, as soon as I walk in, they were like, shots. And I was like, all right, cool. So I downed like 3 immediately, like back to back. And Porter was there as well. And it was a good time, but every once in a while, I get a random video sent to me from that night from Brandon, from people I haven't talked to in years, just sending me these videos of me talking to them through like Snapchat, or just sending them a video.
Snapchat
and it's just
is
like,
definitely a wonderful app for this type of thing.
Yeah, but besides that, I don't have any other kind of crazy party stories. I like to do push-ups whenever I'm drunk. I think that's a weird thing that I do.
That is pretty interesting. I've never heard of that.
How many have you gotten up to?
Like push-up wise on when I'm drunk?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. All I know is that I did it. I wasn't really counting as I was doing them. I just like,
damn, I thought someone would count for you.
Does it get to the point where you're like sore the next day?
No.
Yeah,
so probably not many at all. No, probably not.
Man, that's very impressive.
I was just doing it because I was like, fuck it, I'm drunk. I'm gonna do push-ups. But yeah, that's all I really have for any kind of party stories that I've done. I haven't really thrown up. I had a gnarly hangover one night, and I was at work, and I didn't feel anything all day. Like I felt fine, and I went to the movies with Brandon, and then I got to work, and then it just like, I guess once I started moving around and working, that something happened, and I was just like, oh, I wanted to throw up. I was so lightheaded. I just wanted to collapse. I was so hungover.
Yeah. I have something very similar to that. I don't normally get hangovers, and I think that's why I drink so much. But for some reason, this stuff called Jim Beam Devil's Cut almost killed me. And I had drank it with Dr. Pepper with some friends, and went to work pretty early the next day. I'd say about 9 o'clock. And for a night of drinking, that's pretty fucking early. And I get there, and everything's fine. I think I eat like a chicken biscuit or something, drink a coffee, whatever. And about an hour into my shift, my asshole just starts flaring up like the gates of hell are just opening. And for the next 7 hours, I am in Love's truck stop bathroom around multiple other morbidly obese truckers, just shitting our brains out. And
oh my god,
it was awful. I didn't have a headache or dizzy or none of that. It was just constant fire shits all day on my shift. To the point they almost sent me home because they're like, "Why the fuck are you going to the bathroom so much?" And I was like, "I'm dying." But by then I had like 3 hours left, so they just let me stay. And yeah, that's about the only time I've ever had a hangover.
Dude, I had spicy asshole once. I don't know if that's the name for it. I'm just going to call it spicy asshole.
That's a pretty good name for it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I had a spicy shit this morning. You know how, like, whenever you have one of those shits, it kind of, like, carries over and you just, like, your asshole is just, like, steaming. It's like it's just, like, constantly being burned with, like, a blowtorch.
Have you ever been so bad you ran your asshole under cold water in the shower?
No. I never thought of doing that. That's probably why.
Dude, you do it.
I have a pretty powerful shower head, so I don't know if I would prefer doing that.
Well, man, it cools it off.
I mean, I'm sure, but I don't want it squirting out my fucking ears and shit.
Why don't you just shove an ice cube up there?
Shove an ice cube in my ass.
Flying out your ear.
Yeah, just do it.
So you don't be a fucking ice machine. That's gross. But no, besides that, I haven't had any kind of party stories or anything. I mean, I guess we kind of got hella off topic because now we're talking about shit again. Do you have any other party stories?
Why does it always come back to shit?
Because shit's funny.
Well, I know, like...
I mean, I guess you're right.
For me, I think one of the funnest things about drinking and partying is the morning after, especially if you do get blackout. And that confusion is unlike any feeling in the entire world. And for me, I woke up one morning with literal 5-foot stalks of corn riddled in my truck where I was sleeping. And that, yeah, that had to be, I don't know. Me and a bunch of friends, we had went out drinking, and at the time I was dating a girl who just so happened to be known for losing her virginity in a cornfield.
Huh.
And yeah, and not with me, different person.
I was about to say, I was like, dude, there's some sketchy fucking shit going on.
Not with me, but for some reason the story was everyone thought it was me, but no, I didn't do that bullshit. But anyway,
why the fuck did you have? Why did you have corn stalks in your fucking?
Why did you have corn stalks then?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Did you? Okay.
yeah. So me and a bunch of buddies, we had went to one of our buddies' houses, and we wasn't planning on drinking a lot, and I guess that's how a lot of these things start. I think we only had like a 24-pack of beer. At some point, more alcohol shows up. And it's pretty much just another case of beer and about 6 Mad Dog 2020s. And I have never had one of them, nor had interest in drinking one. But I was like, fuck, there was 6 of us there, so we all took a bottle. I think it's like 350 milliliters or something like that. Well, I'm drinking that Mad Dog 2020 with beer in my hand until the Mad Dog 2020 is gone. And it really didn't seem that strong until about 2 beers after I had finished the Mad Dog 2020. And I remember it just slamming me right in the face as like I got hit by a truck. And the first thing I remember is shitting in the bathroom with the door open while singing the Star Spangled Banner. Yeah. Yeah, and oddly enough, I had red, white, and blue underwear on, which probably inspired it. Yeah, and this person that we were at, he had a zip line, a little makeshift zip line, and I remember trying to go on it and got about 3 feet and fell off of it, and next thing I know, one of my buddies just tackles me so hard right into a plastic chair. Ended up breaking the chair. I didn't feel nothing. I just got up, grabbed my beer, drank some beer. And that was about the last thing I remember until the next morning. Now we're at the corn. So the friends that I was with, and friends that even wasn't there, loved to fuck with me that my girlfriend at the time lost her virginity in a cornfield. And we were right next to a cornfield. So I had woken up, no shoes or socks, jeans still on, in my t-shirt, This was like in May, I think, so it wasn't that hot. Windows down, feet hanging out the window. And I didn't know how I got in my truck, but I leaned up. And when I leaned up, apparently they had figured out how to lay me on top of corn. So when I leaned up, corn just filled my shirt, just went all down in my floorboard, everywhere. So I was pretty pissed, but at the same time, I was still a little drunk. I was fucked up. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out who did this. So I sit up, corn's just everywhere, all in my truck. I've never seen anything like it. I lean up, and I go to open my truck door, angrily, I might add, and just door ding the absolute shit of a Can-Am that was parked right next to my truck. And I remember just looking down at it like, shit, that definitely left a mark. But I squeezed out, threw all the big corn stalks out of my car, and I remember having one in my hand and went in the barn that I knew everyone else was sleeping, and nobody was there. Everybody was gone. Yeah. So
they just ditched you in your truck with a bunch of corn?
And a Can-Am parked right next to my door.
Yeah. Whose fucking car was that?
It was a Can-Am, like one of them four-wheeler things. Oh, apparently we had been riding it around that night, which I didn't realize until 2 days later.
I thought you said Trans Am, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Well, I was like, all right, well, no one's here. I'm just going to leave a stalk of corn in the middle of the barn floor. And this isn't like a barn that you smoke tobacco in. It's one of those like party barns that you see down here in the South. Mm-hmm. With concrete floor and shit like that. Yeah. Well, me and just a really confused haze, I just grabbed a water. I got in my truck. I went home and I just passed out. And then, but I didn't find out anything about that night until about 2 days later. And they come to find out, they're like, yeah, we put you in your truck laying on top of corn and parked the Can-Am next to you, and then we all went in the house and slept. I was like, well, y'all are bitches.
Wow.
Yeah. That was probably the most confused I've ever been on a day after.
Is there any time you've like just straight up yacked? Like just constant throw up? Yeah, those are the best ones.
So bad. Because I had acid reflux really bad as growing up as a kid, and it kind of went away until I started drinking. And it really is not bad unless I eat right before I drink a lot or mix liquors. And if I do that, I don't throw up a lot, but when I do throw up, it's a lot. And, well, I'm trying to think of a time in particular I could tell you. Well, here recently, New Year's. You were talking about New Year's. Me and a couple buddies, nothing crazy. We had 2 bottles of Jack, a 24-pack of beer, and pineapples that are soaked in Malibu rum. And we're all just sitting around drinking, talking, nothing wild. And at some point, I guess I had just... Apparently, they told me... I don't remember any of this, so all this is going off other people. They had told me that I was just smacking the pineapples. Like, I was just eating one after another and chasing it with shots of whiskey. Well, I do kind of remember this. We were sitting around, and we were all passing around the bottle of Gentleman Jack that we had and just taking swigs. And they said at some point I just kind of kept it. And I was just taking 2 or 3 cigs back to back, and which I don't do. If I drink out of the bottle, then something's bad and we're going to have a bad night. Well, my buddy who has brought his girlfriend with him, she didn't drink, and they ended up going home. Well, at the same time of them going home, I was pretty fine at the time. And my buddy who brought number 7 Jack started leaving and said, hey, you want another swig? Like, taunting me with it. And I was like, yeah. And I grabbed it, and apparently I had just started chugging it. And I drank like 3 or 4 gulps of it. And then they left, and I sat there for about a minute, and then start gagging. It's in an apartment, and I ran into the kitchen, and like just a little bit, kind of a little more than a spit up, just all over the sink. And we thought everything was fine after that. And I can't remember if I drank anymore after that. Probably didn't. And we'd sit down for a little more, and I think I laid down on my wife Jordan. And I remember I started spinning really bad. And I was like, fuck. I don't think I'm going to throw up, but I'm going to go to the bathroom anyway. So I get up, and I start like a normal slow walk to the bathroom, and then by the end of it, it turns into a sprint. And right before I get to the bathroom, it comes up, it hits the wall, and I just fall to my knees right in front of the sink, and I'm looking myself in the mirror as I'm just filling up this sink with hatred. And once the sink was full, I was able to slow down for a second and crawl to the toilet where I puked the rest of my stomach up. And then from then on, I don't really remember anything else. I do remember a good buddy of mine, Logan Beck. He had to shower me, I think, multiple times. And my wife, Jordan, also showered me. And one thing I do remember about that, number one, this is for anybody out there. If you have a best friend and they won't shower you if you're shit-faced drunk, they're not a good friend.
Brandon, I would not shower you if you were shit-faced drunk.
You ain't a very good friend then.
Yeah.
Dude, he wouldn't
I'd spray you
shower
out
me
with
if
a
I was
hose.
shit-faced drunk.
Well, one thing I remember is I kept telling him to put it on hot water because I was fucking freezing. And this motherfucker kept putting on cold water, trying to wake me up and sober me up. And I was getting so fucking pissed.
I do that shit.
Yeah, and I was fucking freezing. Eventually he turns it on hot water and he just leaves. And I'm just sitting down getting showered on with hot water. And that's the last thing I remember until being outside with Logan Beck's girlfriend, who's also a pretty good friend of mine. And I remember us being on the back of Beck's truck, and we were just talking. Everything was fine. I was blacked out at this point. I was going in and out. And I didn't throw up, but I had that really violent dry heave.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate those.
I just kept fucking trying to throw up, and I couldn't, and it was hurting so fucking bad. And finally it gets under control, and I look up, and Beck's girlfriend is gone, and Logan Beck is standing there. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, you weren't there a minute ago. And he was like, he said, no, I wasn't, but she told me that you needed help. And I was like, no, I mean, I'm fine. I'm just dying a little bit. And then I wake up next to my wife on our air mattress that wasn't blowed up after all that. And I wake up, and I sit on the couch until everyone else wakes up. that was, yeah, that was wild. I puked. I don't know. If I'm really hardcore drinking, 9 times out of 10, I will puke everywhere. What about you, Brandon? You ain't gave any stories.
I don't really have any.
Brandon doesn't like to drink as often as. I mean, I don't either. I only do it whenever like it's an occasion or like if we're hanging out. But even then, it's like I've never, only besides like New Year's, some nights with some friends I get really, really hammered. But besides that, no. So Brandon,
if you drink, you go in, like you fucking drink.
Yeah, I mean, see, I'm pretty lightweight, so it doesn't take much.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't take much at all to get me going.
I wish I was a lightweight.
I have yet to get drunk with Brandon, but I feel like if we ever started, we probably wouldn't stop, and that'd probably be a good night.
God, we'd have
to record the whole thing, because we're probably going to watch the first Transformers, and then maybe Monsters, Inc.
Oh my God, Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. drunk would be pretty interesting.
It's pretty great.
It's interesting even whenever you're not drunk.
And that movie is pretty hilarious.
The movie's amazing.
So yeah, no, I don't. I've never gotten to the point to where I threw up. I've gotten nauseous, especially on New Year's. I got nauseous because this girl came over, on New Year's.
Oh God.
This girl came over on New Year's, and I was kind of I was phasing out. I was kind of sleeping a little bit, and Porter was there. And as soon as she walked to the door, I was like, "Oh my God, it's this girl!" And Porter was like, they were all like, "Dude, she's here. So she came all this way just to hang with us. We got to do a toast." And I was like, "Okay." And so I took a big shot of I took a Jaeger bomb. As I just woke up, and I was like, time to do it again. And that was the only time I actually walked in the bathroom, and I was like, it's coming. It's going to happen. But it didn't. And I kept my composure. And then I kind of just...
do that.
Nah, and then I walked into the...
hell, did you?
No, I had a drive heat from hell, but it didn't come up. And so I walked out of the bathroom, and they were like, you throw up? And I was like, nope. And I sat on the couch, and Porter was there. And he keeps talking to this girl, and he keeps saying the same thing to her over and over and over again. So then eventually it pissed me off so much. I looked at him and I said, Porter, just shut the hell up. And he grabbed an air freshener can, and this thing is like a girthy can, and he just hurls it at me. This thing is a full thing. It felt like a can of baked beans. It was that heavy.
My God.
And he hurled it at me. And I blocked it with my elbow, and it cut my elbow up. And he was so pissed until 10 minutes later, whenever we were mixing those Hugs fruit barrels with vodka. And they kept telling us, because they were giving us the drinks. We were like, dude, you didn't put any vodka in this. So then as soon as they would leave, we would just jump up.
That is really good.
It's very good. You don't even taste it. And every time they would like leave the room or something, me and Porter would jump up and dump just half the whole barrel full of vodka. So yeah, that was a really good night. That was New Year's. But that's the only time I got close to throwing up.
I have a story about somebody. So in high school, especially like end of junior, beginning of senior year, I was always known to be, that crazy motherfucker that would always drink way too much, and no one could understand how I was still alive. And yeah, and this person who we're going to call Todd, and he'll listen to this, he knows who he is. We're going to call Todd. He kept saying to me and the people that I would not really party, because it was only like 4 or 5 of us, but hang out with, that he could keep up with me. And at that time, I was getting cross-fitted, and which, for those of you that don't know, it's smoking weed and drinking at the same time, which is very bad for your health. Don't do that. And but he kept saying, I could keep up with you. I could keep up with you. It don't matter what we're doing. I could keep up with you. And a real good buddy of mine, Andrew Tobit, kept saying, no, there's no way you can. But he kept persistent. So we invited him over. He came, and Todd started off good. We started drinking beer and graduated to whiskey, and then beer with whiskey. And he was doing okay. And then finally we go outside, and we smoked just a little bit. Nothing crazy. And next thing I know, he is outside of where we're hanging out, shirt off, telling himself riddles.
Oh my God.
Nobody understood. Yeah, like he was the fucking Joker outside this place and just telling himself riddles.
Just telling himself riddles.
It's funny because we know who Todd is.
you know who Todd is.
He does that whenever he's not drunk.
Yeah. And the mom of our group at the time, who never cut any of us off, even me, who was just known for getting fucked, never cut anybody off. He ended up getting cut off. And I kept going, and I had about probably 4 or 5 more beers, and I ended up passing out on the couch, my normal spot. And this is where it gets really interesting. I wake up to the sound of somebody, I don't know who yet, violently dry heaving outside, and the occasional splatter. And I was too shocked to even get up and see who it is. And lo and behold, Todd walks through the door, looks at me, the only person that's woke up in the house, and says, "I pissed myself." I said, wait a minute. I said, hold up, just give me a minute to wake up. And so I just sat there, rubbed my eyes, and I said, all right, you just threw up. Are you okay now? He said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, now repeat what you just said to me. I pissed myself. And I just fucking lose it to the point that the people next to me are fucking waking up and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, you fucking pissed it. And he's like, I pissed myself. And yeah, and Todd never came back and partied with us after that again. Yeah.
Todd gets really ambitious when it comes to bowel movements he can't control.
Well, his reasoning is that he was drunk, so he had to pee, right? That's reasonable. But the marijuana was making it where he couldn't get up. And I was like...
He just missed himself paralyzed.
So I was like, well, number one, you didn't smoke that much. And number two, I've never heard of anybody being paralyzed. He's like, yeah, well, now you have.
Was he doing acid instead of weed?
If he did, I didn't know about it. But it was wild. By the way, he passed out on the floor. So I guess that is a good thing since he did piss himself. Is he didn't fucking piss on a couch.
Wait, he passed out on the floor?
In the floor. Not only that, but he was so like the really old Dracula movies where they're just laying stiff as a board with their hands across their chest. That's how he was laying. And so he had to just wake up and be like, shit, I gotta piss. Oh fuck, I can't move.
The fact that he was awake while it happened just makes it 100 times better.
I mean, that's just what I'm assuming happened. And not only that, like, he had to do it. For me thinking about it, he had to do it and was like, I'm fine with this. And then go back to sleep in his own piss.
The warmth was like
comforting. I wanted Todd to come and party like that with us again, and he never has, and it's understandable.
Come on, Todd, let's go party.
We need to get Todd together and party.
We've been trying to get Todd together to party for a while.
Yeah. So Kobe, I guess it's time for our favorite segment of the show, shit stories. So we're gonna cover your shit story. Do you have like, how many shit stories do you have?
Well, when you texted me, you told me specifically like when you shit yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be whenever you shit yourself, but
yeah, I said anything involving shit.
Yeah. Well, I guess I already kind of told one earlier.
Yeah.
But really, there's only one time I can think where I truly shit myself, and I can't even remember it fully. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I don't remember how it happened. I just remember I was wearing white underwear, and I don't know if I was sick or something, but I remember farting and being like, well, that don't feel right. And then in the middle of the fucking living room, just pulling my pants down, and there just being a little really like a quarter size shit stain. And I had parents that, I knew wasn't going to be okay with that, and I was like, well, I guess I got to fucking tell them.
Like, what do you even do at that point if you're a kid?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. So I went to my mom, and I was like, hey, Mom, I'm pretty sure I said I pooped myself or something. She's like, well, come on. And then we went, and she filled up the bathtub, and I got naked, and I just fucking sat down in the bathtub, and she just left me in the bathtub for, as a little kid, what seemed like hours, just sitting there soaking. And yeah, that's pretty much the only time I can think. I remember we threw away that pair of underwear, shorts, and I'm pretty sure my socks for some reason, even though I know it didn't get on my socks, but I'm pretty sure she threw away the socks too.
They were tainted.
Yeah. I guess.
If you had the socks, you would want to do it again.
It was those socks. The socks caused it. Yeah. Some magical shitty socks.
Dude, your mom was so much nicer. Like, mine was not nearly a quarter size stain.
Well,
it was a whole ass pocket of shit. But
I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, your mom was significantly more nice. Mine was, I remember being overly pissed that I shit myself in a cornfield.
So, where is
I said, I don't really...
Go ahead.
Like I said, I don't really remember it fully, so... I mean, she could have just completely went off on me, but I just remember being left in the bathtub to soak in my shit and rethink my life as a 6-year-old. Yeah.
It's a life-changing moment.
It is.
I guess so, man.
So, like,
Just learn not to do it again.
Where's the worst place that you've just blown up a toilet?
Oh, my God. Oh, wow. There's been a lot. Because I did construction for a little while, so places to shit are very limited. Yeah. Fuck, man. That's a good question. Honestly, probably pretty recently. There was a time I was at my wife's house, and we had gone and eaten somewhere with her family. And I had gotten some spicy like I usually do, and we had gotten back, and I fucking, like, I was going to try to hold it until we went home, but we kept staying there, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go. So I just went. I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, the exhaust fan will take care of it. Everything's fine. So I get done and everything, and like you earlier, Nate, you were saying it was a fucking spicy shit. So I was in there for a little bit. And I remember I came out, and I thought everything was fine. I mean, my butthole was stinging a little bit, and I was sitting weird, but I thought everything was fine. Next thing I know, my sister-in-law comes in there, and she's like, what the fuck is that smell? I was like, well, shit. And I was like, well, I took a shit. And she was like, what did you eat? I was like, well, you saw what I ate. And she was like, here. She just handed me this giant-ass can of Lysol. And I was like, you know this ain't air freshener, right? She's like, yeah. So she handed me Lysol, and I just go in there, and I fucking just unleash that damn Lysol.
What did she want you to do? Clean the toilet?
No, she wanted you to clean the air because your shit has infected the oxygen. The Lysol's going to kill it.
I mean, the Lysol is not exactly Febreze.
No. I have a shit story.
All right.
I didn't tell you this, Brandon. I didn't tell you this because this was the other day at work.
Ooh, a new shit story.
This is a new shit story. I try not to shit at work because I work at a restaurant, and I just feel like I don't know, but I don't shit unless I have to shit. So I went to the bathroom, and the bathroom is weirdly enough really close to, like, it's in the dining area, and this is a Pizza Inn pub. Yeah. So the bathroom is literally in, like, the main dining area. So I walk in. There's nobody in the restaurant, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go shit really quick and get it over with because it's like it's peaking. It's like fucking already halfway out my ass crack. So I'm like, I just gotta shit right now.
Those are the scariest things ever.
Yeah, because like it's fucking mental timers in your head beeping, and you're like, I gotta go.
Oh my god, I had one of those today, and someone was in the bathroom, so I just had to that right back up my asshole.
just cover your nostrils and just cover your nostrils and just try to breathe in through your colon. So I go to the bathroom and nobody's in the dining hall. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is fine. And, so I just sit down and just, holy fuck. It makes it just sounds like my ass cheeks were clapping by the sheer force of everything that was coming out. And I was just like, oh my God. And then when I got done, it's really bad when you get done, you do a collective sigh. Like, oh. And so I'm like, I got to wipe. So I look to see if there's toilet paper. And there's toilet paper. So that's good. I was saved. I was saying there's toilet paper. And so I also, there was a Febreze can next to it. And I was like, fucking legendary. So I'm spraying that Febreze and wiping my ass. And I wipe my ass clean. And then as I'm wiping it, somebody knocks on the door and somebody just knocks on the door. And you don't know what to say. Nobody really knows what the actual thing to say is whenever somebody knocks on the door to a bathroom and you're shitting.
I don't
what do you yell?
Yeah, I just sit there in silence.
See, that's what I would do, but then it wouldn't be as bad because that's normally what I do, and then they just walk away. But no, this person just knocked again, and I was like, what do I say? Do I say I'm in here? But that sounds weird because you're not supposed to know who I am. So do I just yell occupied? So I yelled, I was like, Aki here.
You yelled what?
I yelled Aki here. Because I wasn't thinking. And all you hear is just, it's a kid. The kid's like, what? And so I just ignored him and I finished wiping and I washed my hands and I opened the door and the kid's still there waiting and he's fucking doing a pee dance. And he jumps in, and then the parents were like, "We're so sorry." And then as soon as the door shuts, I hear the kid just do the dry heave from hell. He was like, I was like, "What in the hell?" And
he smelled it.
And they just like
walked into the bathroom and just threw up over the smell of your shit.
But the parents
you scarred that kid from using public bathrooms.
Yeah, they went from being, oh, I'm so sorry about that. They heard him dry heave, and then it went straight to like fear. They were scared their kid was dying in that that restroom. And then it was just like weird because then I just walked past them, and then they saw me walking back to the kitchen, and I was like, oh my god. They know I just took a shit, and now I have to make food.
You have to make their food, most likely.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah. Good God.
I don't know. But that's my most recent shit story. And that's all I got to say about it.
Okay, I have. That you said something about public bathroom. Me and my wife Jordan and Preston and his girlfriend all went to the legendary McKay's, and and as I'm sure y'all been to McKay's.
Yeah.
Y'all know they don't have the most cleanest or greatest bathrooms, and well, I go in there and I'm like, I'm gonna just wait. I'm not gonna shit here because I know it's probably gonna be bad. And I get to the point I'm just like, all right, I can't wait. So after walking around the whole store trying to find the bathroom, I finally find it. I almost walked into the women's room, by the way. I didn't, thank God.
That would have been really interesting.
I go in there and I don't know if this is shitty. Please tell me it's not. But I always go for the handicap bathroom just because I feel like I have more space to breathe and I don't feel claustrophobic while I'm trying to push Satan out of my ass. So
I want to comment.
What's up?
Why do you need like? Because I specifically avoid that because I'm always scared like a wheelchair is just gonna wheel in while I'm fucking shitting in the handicap stall.
For me, like sometimes I gotta sprawl my legs out, man. Like I gotta spread them for there to be enough room for it to fucking come out. And so I just automatically go for those if it's open.
Okay.
That probably makes me an asshole. I'm probably going to hell for that, but it is what it is.
Maybe.
And, well, I had this shit so bad that I just, it was one of those you just sat down, pretty normal shit. I just shit. Well, those weird, I don't like them, but the weird things that public bathrooms have where it's supposed to be 2 giant rolls of toilet paper in them, I go to reach for that, and I didn't see any. So I was like, wait a minute. It's probably just stuck up in there, right? So I started reaching my hand up in there trying to find some toilet paper. There's no goddamn toilet paper. So I'm like, fuck. And I knew, like, every now and then, maybe just me, but every now and then you'll have those shits where it doesn't leave anything. But this is one of those that I know there's shit there. So I'm like, fuck. At the same time of me doing this, trying to find toilet paper, there's a dad and his kid in the fucking next door stall, in the little one.
Oh my God.
Like, God damn it. So I just sit there. My phone's dead. So I sit there and I just wait until they're gone. And I'm praying to God that I can make it from this handicapped bathroom to the handicapped stall to the little stall next door without anybody else walking in. So
why didn't you just bother the little homie for some toilet paper?
couldn't, man. It was one of those things like you don't know what to say in that situation, man. So
Just be like, hey, I need some toilet paper.
dude.
Oh my god, can you imagine just sitting there with shit dripping off of your ass and being like, hey man,
Oh my god.
can I have some toilet paper? And you know that bathroom's got a stink from that. And they're just...
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So this little kid finally gets done washing his hands. I've never seen anyone take so long washing their hands. But he finally leaves, and I'm thinking, all right, I got like a 2-second window. So I fucking just leave my pants around my ankles, bend over like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and just wobble out the door into the next stall. And I sit down and thank fucking Christ there was toilet paper in there. And I take care of it, and I walk back to the car because they're waiting on me, and that was the end of that story. This was about a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was... I was scared. I was really scared.
Okay, so speaking of handicap stalls, I have a story like that too. So like a few years ago, I used to get really grossed out whenever I took a shit, and I used to go for the handicap stalls too. But after this one, I just couldn't ever again. So I was sitting there, right, and I knew I had to go. I was prairie dogging. So I sit down, I let it go, and the smell gets to me and I start dry heaving from it. And I just see these wheels outside of the stall. Just sitting there. And I'm like, oh shit. Because, like, at this point, you know exactly what's happening. Some poor handicapped guy's got to take a shit, and you're sitting there dry heaving in the stall because you're grossed out by your own shit. And, you know...
So, like, what'd you do? Did you bolt out as soon as you were done, or did you just...
Boy, do you know how hard it is to wipe whenever you're dry heaving? It's basically impossible.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say, do you know how hard it is to walk in front of a guy in a wheelchair?
Oh.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
You just feel like you're constantly flexing.
No, I was just sitting there in this stall trying to wipe my ass and just dry heaving for like 10 minutes while this poor handicapped guy is just sitting there listening to me.
He probably thought you were retarded.
Probably.
And then handicap stall.
Then I just walk out and he gives me this dirty look and goes in the bathroom and goes in the handicap stall, and I'm just like, do I bolt it out of the bathroom or do I just sit here while this guy is scowling in the handicap stall and wash my hands?
You always wash your hands.
That's what I did. And that guy was like, boy.
He's probably making a voodoo doll of you right now.
He probably was.
Yeah, you're lucky he didn't jump out that chair and start crawling with you towards you.
Oh my god!
He crawled under the door.
I left out the best part. While I was sitting there trying to wipe, he was just like, "Oh my god!" And it was like this older guy. God, I've never felt
Professor
so
X
judged in my life.
You would not. Professor X had to shit, and you weren't letting it happen. That's funny.
Poor guy. Never using the handicap stall ever again.
Public bathrooms are funny. Like when me and my dad, we were heading to Chicago, we were driving up there, and we stopped at this McDonald's, and I knew he had to shit. He was like, I gotta shit.
This story.
And this is like, so he pulls over into this McDonald's in Indianapolis, and we get out because I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta pee. So we get out, and he's been chugging like these Starbucks caffeine shots.
Oh,
or whatever. He's been chugging those, driving, and he goes in the stall. And for some odd reason, this public bathroom is so packed right now that as soon as we walk in, he does this thing. I don't know what he was trying to do, or maybe he was trying to get some laughs at somebody. I guess just me, because I was dying as it was happening. He goes and he sits in the toilet and just starts moaning as he's shitting.
Wait, why were you in there with him?
I wasn't in the stall with him. I was pissing.
No, I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that. My bad.
My bad.
I
mean, I didn't.
Questions.
No, I wasn't in the stall with my dad while he was moaning, shitting.
God.
But no, there's this old guy in here who just kept looking at the stall as he was moaning, and he was being really fucking loud moaning too. Like he was almost like, "Ah!" as he was shitting. And yeah. So something about my dad, and like my uncle does it too. Me and my uncle went to this bathroom in Target, and I think he had to shit too, but he went shit, and some guy came in there too, and he had been on the toilet for a long ass time. The guy that came in, and so I was washing my hands, and my uncle gets out, and he washes his hands, and he just looks at me. He goes, "You want to see something funny?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." We open the door. I walk out first. He looks at the dude in the stall, turns the light off, and just shuts the door. And all you hear as he's shutting the door is that guy starts screaming. And he just slams it. And this is at a Target when we were coming back from Chicago.
Poor guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, and the light switch just by the door, and he's on like the other side of the bathroom. This dude has to feel his way out of that bathroom and turn the light back on.
God.
And so we just took it out. That's all I got to say about public bathrooms, man.
All right, Kobe, you said that you listen to music religiously. What would you say would be like your top music of 2019?
Like albums, songs, artists?
Let's go albums and then songs.
Okay, cool. All right, so you want to just go everyone's 3 and then 2, 1 so far? I'm gonna do it like
sure.
that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
All right.
I didn't really make a list for this because I didn't get too into music this year as I normally would.
Well, how
so
about
kind of just like if you have the same options?
How about you go through your top like ever?
That's
top
cool. Yeah, that's chill.
albums ever?
I mean,
I'll go over new artists. I'll go over new artists that I discovered within 2019 and 2020.
yeah, that works.
That's chill with me.
All right, so I will give. I can't do ever, but I can give you my top 3 albums of 2019. Then I can do that artist thing as well, because I discovered a whole lot.
Oh, me too.
My third favorite album. My first 2 are bands that I've never listened to ever. One of them I didn't even like, and that's my third one, of Mice and Men with their album Earth and Sky. Their album before Earth and Sky, Warzone, they had a guy by the name of Austin Charlie who was their lead singer, and they got rid of him. I think he left for a vocal cord reason or something. And this, I think his name's Oliver North, joined the band as their vocalist. And I don't know if y'all listen to metal or anything, but his voice, his scream is just, it sets the band apart from just about any other metalcore bands right now. And they released Earth and Sky, and I honestly think that even if you don't like metal, I think you'll like this album, because there's a little bit of that really raw, heavy screaming on it, and then there's a little bit of melodic, almost poppy sounding rock to it. And that was definitely my third. And my second is by a band who I was really surprised that I would like, and how many people like them, and that's I Prevail. They released Trauma back in 2019 of last year, and it's just, they kind of always done covers, like rock covers of pop artists and a little bit techno stuff, but they released Trauma, and it is one of the just heaviest and emotional metal albums I've ever heard in my life. And my first one is Disguise by Motionless and White. And this album came out, I think, in June or July. And there were so many more albums to be announced. I mean, Slipknot released an album after that. Korn released an album after that. And I'm thinking, someone's going to beat Motionless and White. And I kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And then last week of December, I listened to all these new albums back to back. And just nobody comes close to Motionless and White. I don't know if y'all listen to them, but they come they used to sound like a really emo, just scream for the sake of screaming, and you can hear how much they've matured off their new album, and I still listen to that album in its entirety, probably once a month since then.
I love listening to artists from their first album and going through what they're doing now and seeing how much they've improved.
Just
go ahead.
The audio quality of it and just the actual musicianship, their voice and everything, you can hear how much they've changed from whenever they started to now.
All right, I guess I'll go through my three now. My third one is by an artist that I had never even heard of before this year. It's Little Brother. It's a rap album. It's called May the Lord Watch. I've listened to, dozens of new albums this year, and this one just hits different. Their last stuff was from like 2000, and now they come back with a lot more mature topics, going through like aging, and they're in their 40s and they're talking about stuff that's changed since they've last recorded and stuff. It's really good. It's a really good album. My second one is one that I had started listening to at the beginning of the year, actually. It's called Morbid Stuff. It's by another band that I had never heard of before this year, Pup, P-U-P. And this is one that I found from someone recommending it to me on Twitter, actually. And, God, I was going through my replay from this year, and this was number one. Every single song was in my top 10. It was just this album all the way down. And it's really good. I don't even know. It's like alternative, but also hard rock. It's really interesting. I've never heard anything like it.
Like a Green Day style?
Not really. I don't know. It's not Green Day. I've never heard anything like it.
Wait, what'd you say? Are you talking about the newest Green Day album?
No. We don't talk about that, Nate. Hey, I think that's releasing this Friday.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I was like, dude, I'm about to pop off about how they're butchering that shit.
God, it sounds so terrible.
I haven't liked anything from Green Day since American Idiot, personally, but it's just me.
I liked their stuff from Revolution Radio. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was 2016, I think.
I just can't get it into them as much as I can the American Idiot album.
I don't know if they'll ever top American Idiot. I don't think that they will.
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that 21st Century Breakdown definitely was really good. I think Revolution Radio got close, but honestly, the new shit that they're cracking out now, they said like they're redefining rock and roll. And I hate saying this about a band that I actually enjoy, but they're going backwards rather than forwards. They're not redefining anything. It just seems like they're just kind of like just BSing through it. And it sounds like just the same generic shit. And this is a punk rock band where you're not supposed to be the same generic shit.
I think Bring Me the Horizon is doing the exact same thing.
It's not even that it's really bad. Like, I heard it from on the radio on the way to work the other day, and I was like, damn, who is this? It sounds pretty good. And then I was like, oh, that's Green Day. God, this is such shit.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Like, I think the only one out of the album that they've released so far, they've only released like 3 singles. The first song, and that's about, what is the first song even called?
I haven't been keeping up with them. I don't know.
I don't remember. See, and you can't even remember it either, Brandon.
I know.
It's just like, that's the best
It's terrible.
one, and I can't even remember the name.
Here, one second. I'm pulling it up. The first one's called Father of All.
There it is. Okay. And then the second one was for like a hockey thing, like a NHL event that they released.
Yeah, I don't.
And I'm pretty sure that's called.
Usually, if bands do that, they don't even put it on an album. They just make it and they release it as a single. Mm-hmm. It's called Fire Ready Aim, by the way.
Yeah, it just seems like they're doing it as like a kind of, I don't want to say a cash grab, because it seems like they're putting effort into it, and saying that they're redefining rock and roll is a bold statement. It's just, I don't want them to fall on their ass and look stupid.
They're going to fall on their ass. This time, I think it might be worse than Uno Dos Tres. It's bad. Nate,
fuck those albums.
Pop off about Oh Yeah.
Oh Yeah is the worst shit I've ever heard. I cannot stand, dude. I remember like seeing it on Instagram. They're like, new Green Day out, and I was like, oh yeah, let's check it out. And then I heard it, and I was like, what in the fuck is this? Like, the thing has no There's
not a single guitar in it at all.
The chorus is. It's the most generic song you'll ever fucking hear.
God.
I'm pretty sure that's the one you heard on the radio.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds like some pop shit.
It is.
And like, I don't mean that in a bad way, because I like a lot of pop music. I don't think that if you're a punk rock band and they want to say like, oh, we're not a pop punk band, but you sure as hell sound like pop punk. You sound, you're on the fucking new Fall Out Boy album level status on that shit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, it's frustrating.
Well, in their defense, when you release something as great as American Idiot, it's really hard to ever make anything to even come close to that. I mean, lots of bands have done something like that.
That's not even the point. They've released 2 good albums since American Idiot. They've released Revolution Radio and 21st Century Breakdown. Both are really good. And then they release, what the fuck is this album even called? Father of All? And they put a drunk unicorn on it? I mean, just look at the album art for this shit. It just rips off. It's literally the American Idiot logo with a fucking unicorn on it and spray paint. It's the most ridiculous shit that I've ever seen. If you go through their album arts, it looks totally different than anything they've ever put out before. It's ridiculous.
And here's something I gotta say. I'm all for bands changing the way they sound.
Yeah,
I'm totally for that.
Me too.
Queen did that. Paramore did that, and they still fucking bop. It's stuff like that I'm fine with. If you have good changes and it works, then great. But when you do that and you try to redefine one of your greatest legacies and you're about to put this shit album out, I don't know if the whole album's going to be shit. I've only heard the first 3 songs. And Oh Yeah is like some of the most generic shit. Literally, the chorus is them saying "Oh yeah" like 3 times. And how long is the song even? I think it's like maybe
it's 3 minutes long.
It's a minute 30. It's
3 minutes long.
Of Oh Yes.
Yes. It's so bad. This is going to be coming out on Monday. We're recording this on Wednesday, so it comes out on Friday. So we could totally just be completely talking out of our ass right now and be proven wrong. But
we're going to get blindsided. Those 3 singles aren't even going to be on it.
God.
It's actually just not that at all. It's just something completely different.
Yeah, they just kill this album and release a new one. Psych.
Yeah, even when he was they performed at the Video Game Awards. And I remember we were watching that on YouTube Live. And as soon as they announced it, they played Father of All, the first single. And Billy just starts screaming in it randomly, and it sounds horrible. And I'm just like, dude. And then they played, what was it, Welcome to Paradise? And they were like, we're teasing a new game. And they played Welcome to Paradise, and they were trying to tease for a new game that it said, and it showed a bunch of skateboards. So we're like, oh my God, Skate 4. And then it's like, it's fucking, what is it? It's like that Beat Saber.
It was a Green Day pack for Beat Saber.
What?
So
what the fuck?
they're not really on my top list at this moment.
God,
I understand.
Whenever I bought the Hella Mega Tour tickets because Green Day is one of my favorite bands. They're in my top 3. So I got them and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to see Green Day. And then they released Father of All and I was like, God, do I really want to see Green Day?
Yeah, but do you want to see Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, I know.
I almost bought tickets to that strictly for Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a little bit of Weezer and I like what I know, and then I know Green Day's fallen off a lot, but I fucking love Fall Out Boy.
Green Day is amazing.
There's a lot of other shows that. Really?
Yeah, I went once before.
We want to talk about someone that's good live. Do y'all? I'm sure y'all do. Do y'all listen to A Day to Remember?
I've listened to it some.
Yeah, well, they kind of went away for a little while, and then they came back, and they're actually coming to Nashville twice this year. Once with Slipknot and once for their own headline. But me and my wife, we went to see them. I don't even remember what month it was, but they were here with I Prevail and Beartooth. That was quite possibly the greatest show I've ever seen. Just the energy that they are able to do live is insane. And I've been to a lot of different live shows, and A Day to Remember is just, it's something really special, and I definitely encourage y'all to go see it if y'all get the chance.
You know, I had the same experience, but not with A Day to Remember. Back in 2016, I think. I don't know. I went to Atlanta with our buddy Preston to go see The Killers, and oh my God, that show is the best show I've ever been to live.
Preston tells me about that show a lot.
It was ridiculous. They're releasing a new album sometime soon, and I didn't even like their last album, but they have so many hits over the years. And their second album, Sam's Town, is my favorite album of all time, hands down, no contest. Yeah, I'm just excited for them to release new shit so I can buy more tickets to their show. I've been intentionally not buying tickets to concerts this year so that I could get good tickets to go see The Killers again.
Like, I listen to everything, but most of what I listen to is kind of the metalcore, hard rock type genre. And 2019 and 2020 is already shaping up to be a huge year for that genre. Like, I've seen Beartooth 3 times in the past year. They're currently my favorite band. They're another crazy good live show. I definitely recommend them. And I don't know if y'all like Slipknot or not, but Slipknot just announced a giant tour, and they're going to be in Nashville in June. I actually just requested the day after the concert off today because I know how fucked up I'm going to be after that show. So
another great one I've seen live was Shinedown. I saw them at Ryman.
Shinedown is so good.
Yeah, they are. I saw them at Ryman Auditorium the last time they were here. Holy crap. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous.
That was an unplugged session, wasn't it?
No.
Wasn't that acoustic?
Well,
it wasn't.
They played 2 shows. They only played half of their hits for the first show, and then they played some more obscure stuff. And then for the second one, they played it. They played the rest of their hits. I only went to the first one. I tried to get tickets to the second one, but I couldn't. So I missed both shows to that. I didn't have the money at the time, and those were some really expensive tickets, if I remember correctly. Yeah, after they went off of general on sale, the resale prices for those just skyrocketed. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Same thing happened with Tool, and I'm pretty sure Tool's already came to Nashville.
I listened to Tool's new album. It's pretty good.
Tool's new album's good. It's not an enema good, though.
No, it's not. But it's pretty good.
But going
it's more than I thought. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I saw them in Shinedown in 2016 at Ascend Amphitheater with, who the fuck were they with? I don't even remember because they were so damn good. Hailstorm.
Oh my God. I would kill to go to a Hailstorm show. I love Hailstorm.
Guys,
I've seen Hailstorm 3 times live.
Holy
and I've seen
shit.
Shinedown twice live.
I've only seen them once live.
Shinedown live, like their Ascend show was great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was insane. But when they were the supporting act for the Five Finger Death Punch 2018 tour, that was unlike anything I've ever seen. I still watch videos from that concert to this day. He came out, I don't know, y'all been to Bridgestone, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bridgestone's got that, if they want to, they can put that platform out in the middle of the general admission.
Yeah.
And they'll walk through the crowd to get to it. Well, he did that, and he went out in the middle of the floor, and it was just him and their guitarist, and they shut off all the lights, just lights from the flashlight, and just sang Simple Man. Just real simple, no lights, no anything special, just sang Simple Man, and I get chills talking about that. That Shinedown Live is in my top 5 favorite live performers, for sure. I definitely agree with you on that.
You know, we were talking about, you mentioned unplugged sessions. The only unplugged session I've ever been to was Breaking Benjamin back in like 2017. And
was that 2017? I thought that was 2015.
God, I don't even remember at this point.
It was at the Ryman.
It was at Ryman, yeah. Yeah. The funniest thing about that show is in the middle of it, they were all getting drunk, except for him because he's like sober, and
yeah, and he kept talking about fucking going out and eating ribs after the show. I remember that, dude. That was fucking great. That was one of my first concerts.
In the middle of it, they just like forgot they were doing an unplugged show and started playing the acoustics as if they were electric. It was such an interesting sound. They played a great show, though.
Did you know? Yeah, that show is what got me into going to live shows. And since then, I've been to, I don't know, probably over 20 live shows since then.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know or not, but Slipknot's guitarist and bassist were there on stage.
Really?
Yes, they are not Slipknot. Korn.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Brian Head Welch and Fieldy just kind of poked their head out, and the fucking crowd went wild if they saw them. That I remember that. That was a great show. I think about that very often.
Yeah, it was.
And then I saw them again at. I saw them again.
Wait.
About a year after with Red.
Oh, okay, different show.
Okay, yeah. I saw them again with Red at War Memorial, and they were having a lot of technical sound issues then, but they did do a metal cover of the Star Wars Sith, what's it, like theme song, I guess I can call it?
The Imperial March?
Yeah, the Imperial March. They did a metal cover of that, and that was fucking crazy. That was really good. They lit the whole place up in red, and they did a metal cover of that, and that was really good. They also did a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That sounds awesome. The only other time that I've seen Breaking Benjamin was at my favorite, God, what is it called? It's my favorite venue in Nashville. It's Marathon Music Works. That's it. God.
That's your favorite? Yeah. That's one of my least
Really? Favorite. I don't know. Every show that I've been to there has been amazing. I've gotten like right in the front.
Mm-hmm. I went to the Chevelle one at Marathon at December 16th, I think it was, right at the end of December. It was my last show of 2019. And we actually had to leave like 3 or 4 songs early because my aunt and uncle, we were with them, and this guy kept trying to fight my uncle. And it got so bad that my wife, I always told my wife, she's never been to concerts before we got together, and I always told her, if she ever feels uncomfortable, we'll leave, just let me know. And it got to the point that she just didn't feel comfortable being there, and we ended up leaving. But I guess I just have a really shitty experience with Marathon because of that.
Yeah.
And I was literally at Marathon to see Highly Suspect like 3 days before.
Yeah.
And it was great for Highly Suspect, but at Chevelle, I don't know. Maybe it's the different fans, but that was a rough show to sit through.
I guess it would, for people listening, Marathon Music Works is more of it's an open venue. they have a main hall where they have the it's like a warehouse where they have a stage, and that's where the bands play. And then there's a little hallway where the bar is, and it's open. There's no seats, so everyone just walks.
They have like a 12-person loft that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
run over for, and that's the only seats in the entire place.
And that's like to the that's to the left of the stage if you're looking from the crowd. So it's not really the best place to be if you're gonna go there. You probably just want to be standing and get as close as you can. But the problem is,
actually, even though it's one of my least favorite, I still have 2 shows planned for that venue. In This Moment, Blackfield Brides, and A Day to Remember. I'm going to them at that venue.
I was gonna go see Simple Plan there a few months ago, I think, but I wasn't able to get tickets in time. That
was in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed that one as well because I think we bought tickets to the. We did. We bought tickets to the A Day to Remember and I Prevail tour instead of those.
Yeah, I was gonna get.
Which I definitely don't regret.
I was gonna get me and Nate some tickets to go see Simple Plan, and I just, by the time I thought of it and remembered, I couldn't get it. Sucked. That would have been a good concert.
War Memorial is my top one, and maybe because I've seen so many. I've seen Seether there, I've seen Breaking Benjamin there, I've seen Stone Sour there. I've seen some really great people at War Memorial. I've never had a bad experience there. I actually, for Stone Sour, so of course what I listen to, I love to mosh, I love to jump around when I'm listening to music, especially live shows. And for Stone Sour, my dad had got balcony tickets for my birthday. And normally I'm fine with that. But I don't know if you've been to the balcony at War Memorial, but the seats are really close. Like you stand up and your knees are hitting the back of the seat in front of you. So I was like, this ain't gonna work. So I go up and I ask the security guard, and they have like a huge walkway behind the seats, like massive. And I go up and ask the security guard, I was like, hey, can I stand up here? I like to jump around, I like to headbang. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And I did the whole show in that walkway up there, just watching it from like the second act all the way through the end of Stone Sour. I was up there standing.
You know, of all the venues in Nashville, the only one that I haven't been to is War Memorial, which is crazy because I always get told that one's like one of the the best one in Nashville to go to.
It's beautiful. It is absolutely.
I've never been there for a concert.
I haven't been to Mercy Lounge and the Basement. Those are the only 2 I haven't been to.
You know, they're building another amphitheater. Yeah, I don't know when it opens, though.
I didn't know that. I love Ascend. I saw Logic at Ascend with Preston.
I had tickets to that show, but I had to go somewhere else.
It was great. It really was.
I'm sure it was. I was really disappointed I couldn't go.
That's the only show. Explain this to me. That is the only show that I've got in trouble for vaping at. And it's outdoors.
That's crazy. Like,
yeah.
How did they? Because you guys were in the yard, right?
Yeah, we're in the yard.
How did they even notice you? Like, there's a ton of people.
I don't know, but they literally like searched us out.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've been in. I mean, now when I go to so many that I'm a little more careful with it.
Yeah.
But even if I wasn't, they don't care as much as they do at Ascend. Apparently, that was weird. That I saw Disturbed at Ascend as well in I think 2017.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like a really good show.
2016. They were there with Rob Zombie. So.
Oh, that sounds like a really good show.
It was amazing. Rob Zombie came all the way out into the yard, yelling at people to put their phones down.
Yeah,
it was great.
I don't know. What do you think about phones at concert venues? I know that we've gone on this topic for a long time, so after this we'll go next.
That works. I don't know. So I started going to concerts in 2010. That was my first ever. I saw Nickelback and 3 Days Grace and Buck Cherry.
Man, my dad went to that concert, and he always tells me about it because like that was
my uncle. They played Animals twice because the first time they played it out of tune.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so they ended up playing it at the end.
Was that whenever Adam was still the lead singer?
Adam was still the lead singer of 3 Days Grace. Yes,
I would have killed
we'll
to go to that show too.
Yeah, which I was 10 years old. I didn't really know what was going on. My uncle wanted to take me to it because I was a big fan of Nickelback at the time, regrettably. But he had taken me to that, and I say regrettably, I treasure that memory because I don't know if y'all know, my uncle's no longer with us, but he took me to my very first one, and it was a great show from what I can remember. I remember being there and just being in total awe of what was going on. And, I saw 3 Days Grace, and I didn't know who 3 Days Grace was at that time, but about 3 or 4 years later, I realized who they was. It was right before they released Transit of Venus. I learned who they was.
What a good album.
And, I started really to treasure that. And then, I don't know, you may be able to help me with this, but 2 years after Transit of Venus, Adam left. And I knew.
I think it was a little bit longer because they went on a hiatus after that because they couldn't find a new singer. I don't know when it was. Let me see if I can find it.
We're not going to get into a whole lot of 3 Days Grace because we'll be talking for 2 hours. Yeah. But I really started to treasure that memory after I learned who 3 Days Grace was and how much I fell in love with Adam because I knew I would never see Adam.
He's such a good singer.
3 Days Grace again. He really is. He truly, truly is. And their new singer, like, he's good and all, but he's no Adam. He's really
have you heard any of Adam's new band?
Saint Asonia? Yeah. I listened to them because of Adam's voice. But as far as the actual band goes, I don't like how mainstream rock it is.
I know.
That's the only thing I don't like about it. But I do listen to them just for Adam's voice. And I recently learned that at Saint Asonia's shows, Adam plays 3 Days Grace songs.
Yeah, because he owns the performing rights to them.
Yeah, he owns them.
So anytime...
Yes. Which is weird because like he'll go and play I Hate Everything About You at Saint Asonia's shows, but then 3 Days Grace now with whatever his name is,
Matt Walsh.
I Hate Everything About You.
Yeah,
so I don't really know how that works. Matt Walsh.
Every time 3 Days Grace plays old 3 Days Grace song that was written by Adam, they have to pay him because he owns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets a commission of their sales. By the way, you were right.
Oh, wow.
Transit of Venus came out in 2012, and Adam left in 2013.
Okay, I said 2 years, but I was close.
And then they released Human in 2015, so...
Which I think
2 years later.
I listened to Human, but Human is by far 3 Days Grace's worst album. By far.
I don't know about that. I listened to Human a lot, but I...
Wait, no, hold on. Was Human the one that had I Am Machine on it?
Yes.
Not that one. The
one that they just released, Outsider?
Was it? Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one that much. I mean,
I liked it. Like, I'll still listen to it.
There's a few good songs on it, but there's not anything that just keeps me bringing back.
Title track. I really like the title
track. Me too.
I Am Outsider. I really like that song.
There are some good songs on it. It's just...
What were we talking about before 3 Days Grace?
It's just...
This is why I said we weren't going to talk about 3 Days Grace.
I know. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Phones. That's what we were talking about. So I started in 2010, and I didn't see another one until I saw Daltrey in 2012. And didn't see... Yeah.
No.
Didn't see another one.
God. I'm just looking at the document. God, this is...
Read it out loud. Skip the second one, but read out what I'm typing in on these notes.
Okay, so we have all of our notes in here, and And Nate's just been typing as we've been talking. The first one is Godzilla queefing on Tokyo. The second one is eat ass, smoke gorilla shit. Like,
I'm not even looking at the notes because I don't want to run my phone battery down. So this is new to me too.
The third one is pissing in my vagina like a jar of Kool-Aid. Like, stroking my toes on a corpse. God.
Wow.
Nate, what's been happening over here?
I don't know. I can't relate to all the concerts. I haven't been to one, so I'm just sitting here typing in the notes.
God,
I'm listening, but
I forgot that you haven't been to your first concert. I'm gonna have to take you to one.
I'm chill with that.
Well, I'm gonna finish up phones and then we'll go to our
then we'll go to
topic.
the last couple.
Yeah, so I went to Daughtry in 2012, and I didn't go another one until Hellstorm, The Pretty Reckless, and Starset.
That sounds like an amazing concert.
It was amazing. I actually have Starset is coming May 2nd. And I'm going
The Pretty Reckless is the kid from The Grinch, isn't it?
From The Grinch, yes. Cindy Lou.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Taylor Momsen?
Yeah, she's pretty cute now.
Taylor Momsen's her name. But from 2014 on, that's when I just went fucking wild. And I started seeing, I saw 6 in 2016. I saw 2 in 2017. I saw 3 or 4 in 2018. Then I saw 9 last year. And so far I have 7 planned for this year. But as far as phones go, I used to video a lot and take pictures a lot during concerts. And in 2018, I went kayaking, and I had my phone in a plastic bag, like you should do. And
yeah.
I was stupid, and I didn't have my phone backed up, and somehow it had fallen out of the plastic bag, and I didn't know it, and I had got about 20 feet, well, maybe about 50 feet down the river.
Yeah.
And I went to get my phone to play some music, and it was fucking gone, and I started freaking the fuck out, and I ended up turning around, fucking paddling upstream to get back to it, and I get to where I got in at and started digging around in the sand, find my phone.
Oh my god,
and
that would freak me the hell out.
Then I had lost everything, dude, everything, pictures, everything, all those concert videos. I had pictures with a little known, not known band called Letters from the Fire.
Yeah. I
had pictures with a band that's blowing up right now, Palo Royale. I had pictures with Brian Head Welch from Korn. I mean, I had pictures from all these people I've met and videos from all these concerts, and I lost all of that. And from then on,
had you at least
from then on, I'd
put some of them on social media and stuff? Okay,
yeah,
good. So you didn't lose everything. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but most of everything. And from then on, I don't video and take pictures as much, just because I don't want that to happen. I've gotten to where I go to concerts and I just enjoy the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just enjoy it. And if it's a really great concert, then I'm going to remember it anyway. I don't need my phone. So
do you...
That's one thing me and my wife kind of talk about, is that she videos this shit done because she just started going to concerts, and I completely understand it, but I always make sure she knows, like, something happens, this shit's gone, and that's a really scary feeling to have, and it sucks when it does happen.
Hey, do you back up your photos somewhere?
I do now.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say that happened to me once, and I immediately went and got Google Photos, and they upload all your pictures for free.
That's what my wife,
really nice.
wife does, and I'm about to start using them.
Yeah,
I use a fucking desktop computer right now, but I'm about to switch over to that. Yeah, I don't have any problem with phones at concerts. If that's how people want to enjoy the concert, do it. I do think if the artist requests to not have your phone out, respect the artist.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I know
God, I hate it whenever people do that.
Tool just released Tool just released like no phones at all, no cameras, no nothing. You have your phone on, you're getting kicked out. No warnings. Mm-hmm. I know Tool released that. I think that was a little too harsh, but at the same time, I understand where they're coming from. I mean, Tool's one of the biggest, arguably the biggest rock band of all time, and they have a very, very unique live show, and they don't want that plastered all over YouTube.
Well, so, Jack White makes you put your phone in a bag that locks, and you only get it. Yeah, it only unlocks after he finishes the show.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you get caught with your phone out, he kicks you out of the concert. He takes that very seriously. I think that's a bit overkill.
Yeah, if you're getting like no warnings at all, you're getting kicked the fuck out and having your phone locked up, I think that's a little too far. But if they ask you, like Corey Taylor at the beginning of his shows, and I think Aaron Lewis does the same thing, he asks that you please don't have your phone out, that you just enjoy the moment. I would respect their wishes. I wouldn't have my phone out. But now, I mean, I video, depending on who I'm seeing, I only video 2 to 4 songs.
Yeah.
If that.
I used to... So, whenever I didn't go to concerts as much, I used to video like almost every song, and then I was like, I'm not really watching this show if I'm doing that. So
yeah, I got to the point I would go back and watch those videos, and I would see shit that I missed because I was videoing.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't want to feel that way, and so I got into it. I just watched the show. And if it's like a really great song, like I just saw the Glorious Sons, which is a new bluesy rock band, and they played Sawed Off Shotgun, and I think I videoed most of that song, but that was literally the only time I had my phone out the entire show.
I've gotten to where whenever I do video it, I keep my phone like at my chest as long as it can still see, so I'm not looking at the screen at all whenever I'm videoing.
Yeah.
Then you get all of the immersion of the show, and you get to have it for later.
That's a good idea. I haven't tried that.
We never got to my last album. It was Surviving.
Oh shit, we did.
It was the album Surviving by Jimmy Eat World. You know
I didn't even know
the people that did the middle. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They released Surviving, and it's like one of the best albums I've heard all year. It is the best album I've heard all year. They released it really like not too long ago. Nate, do you remember whenever I told you about it?
Yeah, I've been hooked on that album ever since. I have it downloaded.
God, it's so good. It's more hard rock than they did earlier on, and on any of their other albums. It's really good. It's got some.
I might have to check it out then.
I'll send you a link. Oh, we're gonna have links to everything that we've talked about in the show notes this time, by the way, so you can just look down there for that. All right, Kobe, you mentioned that you watch TV whenever you can. Have you seen any good TV shows lately?
TV shows?
Yeah, or movies. It just doesn't matter. Anything really good that you've seen.
I'll get to movies in a second because I do have some shit to say about movies, but TV shows. I watched The End of the Fucking World because Preston was telling me about it, and I didn't really have any expectations going into that. But I finished it in like 2 days, and I fucking adore The End of the Fucking World. Like, it is... I don't know what about it I like so much. It's a weird British comedy thing. I don't know. But it's really good. But since...
Oh! Yeah, I've seen this. It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it.
Netflix,
I haven't watched it yet.
I need to. Definitely recommend. It's only 30-minute episodes, so it ain't gonna take you long to finish.
Oh, that sounds amazing! I've been wanting to watch it too.
It is really good. But I don't know. I got with Jordan, my wife, and she's a huge fanatic of Supernatural, and I had never. And y'all might have seen Supernatural. Everyone I know is obsessed about it, but I've never watched it, and I had started watching it. I started watching it probably August of 2018. And I've just been slowly trying to get through Supernatural. Because if you know, Supernatural on Netflix, anyway, is 12 seasons seasons of 22 episodes each, an hour an episode. And
they should have quit after season 6.
I'm on season 8, episode 17, and I fully agree with you. I'm struggling to get through.
It's
season
so
8.
hard. After season 6, you're just like, yeah, they should have ended this.
The thing is about Supernatural, like the only season I was able to binge watch was season 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Season 5, so fucking good. But I don't know, man. I've just really been trying to grind my way through that. And once I finish that, I think I'm gonna start American Horror Story, because I've never seen that.
Okay,
and
so
that's right up my alley.
Stop watching Supernatural and start watching American Horror Story. You're not missing anything. Seriously, God, American Horror Story is so much better.
That's what I hear. I started watching American Horror Story when like the first season went on Netflix, but I think it was like this was when I was like super against I'm just gonna get too controversial. There was a scene in like the first episode that I was like, no, that I can't do it, and I stopped watching it. But I've become more lenient since then, so I think I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Great series.
I've heard. As far as movies go, 2017 and 2018, I was busy with my senior year of football and working out all the time, and I was just really not interested, or didn't really have the time to watch movies or play any games. And since I dropped out of college and started going in the workforce and being at home more, living a normal life, I guess you can call it, I've watched a lot more movies and I've played a lot more games. And the best movies I saw of last year, I mean, I saw movies that people have been talking about. Like, I didn't see fucking Endgame until 6 months after it came out. And
God, you probably already knew the ending after that, didn't you?
I knew something big happened. I was well aware of spoilers. I think the only time I got caught with a spoiler was from Nate's story.
God, Nate, how dare you post something?
I think that
sorry. How dare I post a spoiler 6 months after the movie
I
came
know,
out?
how dare you?
No, I don't know. Like it wasn't. I don't know if it was exactly 6 months. But anyway, I think the only time I got caught was you posted something about Tony Stark. And
God, Nate, you ruined the surprise.
It still got me, man. I still ended up fucking tearing up. I was like, son of a bitch. I knew what was going to happen, and I'm still fucking over here tearing up. But I'll tell you what, the best fucking movie I saw of all of 2019, and I don't remember what year it came out, was Ma.
How do you spell that?
M-A.
Oh,
Did y'all not see Ma?
Oh, that's that horror movie, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I did not see it. I don't usually go watch horror movies.
I've been doing a shit ton of Redbox, and it's still on Redbox right now. I fucking
that's that one
Ma.
chick.
Yeah. Ma is a lot like, it reminds me of a lot like Us and Get Out. It's kind of that, what's the fucking word for it? Like thriller, kind of fuck with your head type of horror movie. I loved Ma. Like, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend going to watch it. That and the new Rambo is also fucking amazing. I'll put that up.
I haven't seen the new Rambo. I haven't really heard anything about it either.
If you're squeamish to like blood and gore and shit, don't watch it. I'll tell you that.
What are you talking about? You know that scene from Rocky IV where Apollo Creed gets his head beat in?
So something I don't like to admit.
Oh,
I've actually never seen the Rocky series.
God, they're so good.
Whoa.
I mean, the first one is a little bit hard to get into because it's a little bit slow, but
I take that back. I have seen the first one.
Yes.
That may be why.
That's probably why you haven't seen the other ones. It picks up the pace a lot.
Yeah.
Rocky movies are some of my favorite movies. You know,
I know I need to watch them. I just haven't.
Speaking of Endgame,
and the most recent movie I saw was because of y'all was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
The most recent movie I saw. I fucking loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Who'd you like better, Leo or Brad Pitt?
Leo. just because of the flamethrower kill.
Yeah, that was badass. I didn't even see that coming.
That was awesome.
It was awesome.
That was fucking crazy. I loved it. And I was originally going through it. I was originally kind of mad because I'm a huge fan and I'm super interested in like the Manson murders and shit.
Yeah.
And I was at the end of the movie, I was pissed for what they did to it. But after saturating with it and thinking about it, I was like, no, that was actually pretty fucking cool what they did with that. And yeah, I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Not as much as Hateful Eight.
If you want to see a completely terrible movie about the Manson murders, watch The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
I've never heard of it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Wasn't that a horror movie that they tried to... It was a horror movie
got Hilary Duff in it.
Tried to do about the Manson murder?
God, it's so bad.
I stayed away from that.
The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
I saw Hilary Duff's name and I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. It's completely terrible.
I may get drunk and go watch it.
I don't even know.
I don't even think that you would have a good time watching it that way. Man, I still remember my first time watching Endgame. I cried for like 20 minutes during the credits. It was terrible. You were there, Nate, right?
So weird. Like I said.
I was there, yeah. I was like, why the fuck are you crying? I cried for like a little bit whenever Tony Stark died. And then Black Widow shocked the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember. I think I remember you sniffling. I think I was just talking to Porter. And Porter's pointing out blatant, obvious Easter eggs that we all knew. It's like that annoying fucker who's like, you know, that's Stan Lee. Like, yeah, we fucking know.
Like I said before, I don't know. I knew what was going to happen, but it still shocked me. Like, I didn't know how it happened, obviously. I just knew it happened. And I was still in shock when I saw it happen. I was like, what the fuck? I think Endgame is one of the best movies ever. Whether not even for like cinematography reasons, the effect that it has on its fans was insane.
Yeah, we went to go see it on opening night, and we hadn't heard anything about it up to that point, of course. And the whole movie was just, God, it was so good.
It really keeps you intrigued from the very beginning to the very end. And I literally told Preston I didn't want to go see it in theaters because it was 3 hours long. And he kept telling me it don't feel like 3 hours long. It don't feel like 3 hours long.
It really doesn't.
And then I watch it on Redbox and it ends and I look at my wife and I'm like, damn, that really didn't feel like 3 hours.
It feels like 3 hours whenever you're sitting there and you've been drinking Coke throughout the throughout the movie. I got up and I was like, this is probably like 5 or 6 minutes of credits. I'm probably going to go pee and then get right back. And then the bathroom was full. So I had to come back before then. It was terrible. Love the movie though.
I want to give my opinion on something.
Okay.
I want to give my opinion on something because I don't want to go into a conversation about it because I know you'll tear me apart with your knowledge. But I just want to say that you're wrong about Joker. That's all I want to say. I thought Joker was... Yeah, I love Joker entirely. I do respect your opinion. No, so...
I respect your opinion, but it's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not going to tear you apart about that. Joker... I need to watch it again.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe after watching it again, I'll have a different opinion. I'm not sure. Maybe, probably not.
I don't think you will. When I went into it, I don't know about y'all, I went into it with absolutely zero expectations.
I went into it thinking it was going to be amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That may be what fucked you then. I went into it with zero expectations, and I'm super interested with mental health, and they really... They kind of beat a dead horse with the mental health stuff, but
yeah,
at the same time, I loved what they did with it, and I loved how it was more of a mental health awareness movie than it really was a fucking DC movie.
Absolutely.
But it just depends on, yeah. If you look at it like that, if you look at it as like a mental health awareness thriller rather than a DC movie, I think you'll enjoy it more.
I don't know, man. The only time that took me out of the movie, and I was like, okay, that was stupid, was when he said society. I was like, why? Why
we live
did y'all make this man say society?
in a society.
Because that wasn't even in the
script. You know why, Nate?
It wasn't in
the script. Do you know why?
They made him say society.
It's because he's the Joker, baby.
Shut up. Shut up.
Okay, the next thing on the document says biggest life goals, and I'm not sure what that means.
All right, so I don't know, Nate. This is y'all's podcast. Are we good to keep going, or are we need to wrap up?
Yeah, we are fine. Unless someone has to pee or something. We're almost through with this thing. Let's just keep going.
I'm good. If y'all are good.
I'm good. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. I still got some Jack and Coke left, so we're good. We'll finish this up. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this, and this is one of the reasons I've always wanted to be on a podcast, is I like going into deep conversations about this. I think you do need to talk about life goals that you have, and especially big ones, because, and I talked to Nate about this before we started recording, because if you put it out there and you talk about it, then you're more likely to do it, basically. And 2019 was a big year for me as far as figuring out what the fuck I want to do in my life. So yeah, I was just wanting to hear y'all's life goals and what y'all plan to do in the next year, 2 years, so on and so forth. What's like your biggest dream that you got to do in life? You know, Nate, you've been quiet while me and Kobe were talking about concerts and stuff. How about you go first on this one?
I agree.
All right. So whenever I dropped out of college in 2018, I had a lot of time to think, because I went to a community college for video production and film, because I was like, I love movies. I want to be a part of what I love. And so doing that, and then I helped this guy's YouTube channel out for a while, and no disrespect to him at all, but we just do not have the same tastes in anything, so it really didn't kind of work out.
So speaking of that, I'm gonna put my favorite video from that YouTube channel in the show notes, and I encourage everyone to go watch that.
Where do I see?
God,
where do I see show notes at?
It's whenever you
because Spotify don't have that.
I think it does. They don't have support for chapters, so I haven't been putting them in there. But the only thing that I've been putting in the show notes for the past 2 weeks have just been our Instagram handles. So this week I'm actually going to put stuff in there, since I'm putting it out on Monday instead of Friday.
So since you're putting that video down,
what a great video!
In the show, whatever. I'm gonna say this right now.
I don't even know if you know which one I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about. I'm gonna say this now, because this doesn't go for just that video. It goes for all of the videos. A lot of the jokes that we made and stuff, I am not 100% behind, or I'm not even like 1% behind any of it. I think a lot of it was pretty childish what we did. And I do not stand for a lot of stuff that I said in some of them. And I know now people are gonna be like, I'm gonna go dig and find them. It's just, I look back at that as one of my mistakes that you definitely learn something from. And I'm just never gonna attempt to even. It's a mess. It's a mess. And if you know, you know. Yeah. And just, I apologize if anybody has watched that and has been offended by something that I have said on any of those videos. Because in the moment, and you're young, and you're thinking, and you're trying to create content, and it's just not.
You can't take them seriously. It wouldn't be funny if you did.
You can't. Yeah. But
that's one thing I've always been passionate about, is you always got to be yourself.
Yeah, and I wasn't myself in those videos. And
I'm a very offensive person. I'm a very offensive person. A lot of people know that. I say a lot of stupid shit, but I don't apologize for it. That's just who I am.
I apologize for it because it wasn't me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not you, then that's understandable for sure.
Yeah, and I just don't condone what I talked about. And I don't want to say that comedy has limits, because I think that everything should be at least made fun of. Everything has at least a bit of humor. But I I felt like whatever I was talking about was pretty tasteless. But there's one good video in there. But if you want to check it out, that's fine. I don't mind. But back to what I was talking about before. So after I dropped out of that, because he had some ideas for videos that I was just like, you know what, that's drawing the line. I can't do it because I didn't agree with it. So after that, I was like, I was thinking for the longest time, I praised movies for all these things, and I wanted to go to film school. So there's a local film school that I wanted to attend, and that fell through due to certain financial reasons and stuff like that. So I just couldn't go. I was like, is this really what I'm meant to do? If so. And the more I think about it, the more I think that it's just not. But I don't know at the same time. Because I acted throughout high school, and I really like to act. I think acting is one of my favorite things to do, and I know I'm pretty decent at it. So I don't know. I went through that, and now doing this podcast, I realize I actually really enjoy doing this. But I also just have a lot of things to talk about, and I have a lot of things that I just want to say. And I don't want to say, because I don't want people to be like, oh, he just wants to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I want to have an audience that'll listen to me. That's something that I want to aspire to.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be right back. You two hold down the fort for a while.
Okay, I'm just going to go back to what I'm talking about.
Okay, you do that.
Okay.
Because a lot of, like, you see on, like, late night shows and stuff like that, these people are celebrities. But I don't think a lot of them take into account what they really are. When really they are a lot of people, like humans' lives. They look up to that person and they want to be that person. Absolutely. So a lot of people don't know that in their position, they're an influencer for a lot of people too. And I want to be an influencer. That's something that I feel like I can do.
Like,
so whether it be,
are you looking to just do it by podcast, or are you looking to do it by like a YouTube channel, or?
I don't know yet. It's definitely in the cards. I definitely want to include this. I think this is one of my favorite things that I do.
Well, it's like I was telling you before we started recording. Like, I really hope this does take off for you, because I've always wanted to be on a podcast, and like I said, I've said it a million times. I'm super grateful for this. But I don't think right now I have the ability to start my own. Maybe one day, but I think it's cool seeing somebody I know starting a podcast. I really do hope this takes off for you.
Yeah, it's just, and I appreciate that. That's really kind. That's something that I just aspire to be. And I really don't like using the word, oh, you want to be famous, you want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be it. I don't want to be, that's
too broad.
It is. I want to be, I don't want to be like a motivational speaker, because, God, I don't know really what to say. But I just want to set an image and be.
Saying being famous is, it's way too broad. You look at people like.
It really is.
Ninja and PewDiePie, who arguably are famous, but most people I talk to have no idea who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. I don't like the word being famous anyway, but.
Yeah, but I've thought about doing YouTube for a bit. I've thought about doing a lot of like video game stuff, but I've also been looking at doing a lot more acting. I want to do like local shows and stuff like that, and I want to do on the YouTube channel. I really want to do voiceovers for like some comics. I've thought about that too.
You got any I don't want to call them accents, but impressions? You got any impressions?
I got a few, but I'm not going to do them on here because I'm pretty sick. I'm not going to do them here.
That's understandable.
But if I ever do, I felt like I could do that, because like there's some comics and stuff that I like where they tell some really interesting things, and I would like to dub over that and do like kind of just show my voice work as well for like voice acting and stuff like that.
Yeah, but so you don't really want what you're saying is like you don't really want your face out there. You just want to be kind of behind the scenes, but kind of not.
Well, not that at the same time too, because I can do audition tapes as well. Anything to get out there at this point, because I feel like I have so much potential to do anything. And I don't mean to sound
that.
like a cocky dickhead, but
no, I completely understand that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm full of myself either. It's just I know I can do it, so why don't I just get up and fucking do it? So, I don't know, and I feel like after these years, since I'm turning 20 this year,
God,
I'm like, when am I just gonna
20.
stop bullshitting around?
Well, look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. I've struggled with that really. Just being completely honest right now, I've struggled with that really hard the past year. You got to look at it this way, and I mean, we're all on social media. A person I really advise following is Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks a lot about being young and chasing what you want to do rather than fucking chasing money. And it's really helped me a lot because, I dropped out of college. I was 18, about to turn 19, and when I dropped out, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? I'm running out of time. You got all these people telling you need to figure out what you want to do, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to figure out what we're going to do yet. We're 19. We got all the fucking time in the world, man. That's what I've really had to come to realize and sit down and think about is we're still 19. When you really think about it, 30's fucking young, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
When you really, really think about it. So, I mean, I don't plan on having... right now, I plan on just kind of experimenting with shit.
Yeah.
Until I'm about 25, 26. And then I'll decide what I want to do super long term.
Yeah. See, that's something I'm trying to do because I never thought that. I mean, I just kind of randomly told Brandon one day, I was like, hey, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. You want to start a podcast? And here we are. Just out of the blue. So if we can just think of an idea and do it with enough motivation, I feel like you could do pretty much anything. So I'm battling with myself, like, just fucking do it. I understand there's like obstacles in the way and stuff like that. Just as if you work at it, and you'll do it, and that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. If you really want it, you'll work through that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't stand when people say, "Oh, I'm going to do this and this and this and this," but they're not doing anything to go for it or do anything about it.
They're not willing to go through the bullshit to get to it.
Yeah, it's just wishful thinking, is what it is. It's daydreaming. And I don't mean to sound like a dick. It's just that's the truth. It's daydreaming. If you don't,
you're absolutely right.
If you don't go for your dreams and you don't make them happen, you're just thinking about it.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah, you gotta sort of have a plan about how you're gonna get there. Like, people talk about that all the time. How you just have to plan out if you're gonna do anything. But no one ever actually does that. It's really weird to see.
Yep.
And here's the thing too, because I know my parents worry about what I'm doing and wondering what I'm going to do with my life. And I have as little clue as they do. All I know is that I have a lot of stuff to say and I want people to hear it. That's all that I just...
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when they're stressed out and they ask me and they're nervous, they're like, Nate, what are you going to do with your life? Like, we know it's something along the lines of this, this, and this, and this, but what are you going to do? And I just don't have an actual answer yet. I think this is the best answer I've ever given.
My biggest advice, honestly, is, I know you love your parents and shit, but metaphorically tell them fuck you. Because, I mean, you got to do what you feel is right by you, and you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. And I truly, truly believe that. Like, you got to do what you feel like is best for you and not give a fuck about anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, your parents are always...
They're asking you...
Your parents are always gonna try to nudge you in one way or another just because they want you to succeed. And if they don't think that in their mind that you're succeeding in your own way, then they're gonna try to nudge you in that way towards something that can be more how do I say it, more successful in the long term.
See,
the word
this is the thing,
successful is so fucking broad.
It is.
Yeah, that's something else as well, because I wanted to say something about it. In my state right now, after what all I've been through and stuff, do I see myself as like failing in whatever my task is? And I don't think that I'm failing. So whenever I get hounded about stuff like that, sure, it pisses me off, but I understand where they're coming from. They just don't see their version of success in me the way I see myself succeeding in the way that
you got to think about also, a lot of that generation of people think of money as success.
True,
me,
but
I watched
finish what you're saying.
I watched my dad for 50 years work a job he hated because he made a shit ton of money. I've never wanted to do that. I don't give a fuck if I'm homeless. If I'm doing what I love to do and I have people I love around me, I don't care how much money I'm making.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. Because growing up, I feel like we've grown up so like fast in the past 2 years,
especially this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. This year there was a whole lot
of stuff.
There was a whole lot
of shit that happened.
Yeah, and so just I realized this the other day too. Yeah, you got married. That's
man.
Crazy.
I never got to congratulate you on that. That's a big deal, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
But I did want to say this about that off topic real quickly. If you're worried about getting married, but your girlfriend and you are always good, everything's great, maybe not even always good, you're just able to work through shit together and you're living together and already sharing money, the only thing that changes when you get married is her last name. And I can promise you that. I just wanted to say that real quick. Yeah. Because I do have a lot of questions about getting married young.
Because a lot of what ends up like crippling marriages is the financial aspect of it, because a lot of people decide to share their money after they get married, and then
you're exactly right.
And then it just blows up in their face because one person realizes that the other doesn't know how to spend money, or they judge them for their choices money wise.
Yeah.
If you got that down, you're probably good.
If you're gonna get married, a lot of people will tell you different, but in my experience, I mean, I'm almost 20 years old and I've already been married for almost a year. In my experience, you got to have a joint bank account. Not really necessarily a joint bank account, but you need to have a bank account where you're both on that bank account together. But that's just my opinion. I think you both have to have the same money goals / the same money habits, or need to work towards a common ground with money. But you're exactly right. Money is what kills. I mean, it's what killed my dad and mom marriage is money. Money kills marriages every single day.
Yeah.
And what's worse is whenever it's not money. And that's just money is just a factor, and it's other things too.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that. But honestly, I really congratulate you. I think that's such a huge feat. I remember somebody told me, they were like, "Yeah, Kobe and Jordan got married," and I was like, "Holy shit, really? That's crazy."
I mean, we got to the point. I mean, as everybody knew, we knew each other all through high school, and we were really close all through high school, and we just never got together. And we got together very shortly after we graduated. I went to college. We did long distance for 6 months. Had no issues doing long distance. I got back. We lived together for about 3 months or so, and was doing everything that a married couple does. We're like, fuck it, let's get married.
Yeah.
That's the same. I wanted to say that because I get a whole lot of questions from people that I know asking about getting married young. And what it really boils down to is if you're living together and you're sharing your money already, nothing changes. It really doesn't. Yeah. Unless you have a kid, and then a lot of shit changes. But
yeah.
So
That's what I was going back to saying about following your dreams and just doing it. That's something else too.
That's my biggest thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because you said you were just like, everything is about the same. The only thing that's going to change is the last name. That's like you just thought of it. Just do it. It's crazy. It's just crazy how it works.
Sometimes it's a curse, sometimes it's a blessing, but I've always had the thing is when I'm in, I'm fucking all in, and I'm balls to the wall.
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes it fucks me, and sometimes it doesn't. And so far, I mean, I have a lot of, not really regrets in 2019, but a lot of things I wish I did differently, but not really regrets, because everything that I've done wrong, I've learned from. And that's going to help me do what I want to do, which maybe we'll eventually get to before the end of this.
Yeah, that's something else I realized too. I know we're getting off topic a little bit, but learning from mistakes.
You know, we started this podcast so we could talk about whatever the hell we wanted. That's literally what I said at the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah, I think dumpster diving is a perfect title for this podcast.
Oh,
yeah. But back to what I was saying, I was talking about, because reflecting on 2019, everybody has mistakes and stuff that they wish they did differently. And that's something that, like, you growing up, you get hounded, like, when I was your age, I would have done this and this and this differently. And you're like, yeah, but I think whatever you do growing up is going to be inevitable, and you just learn from your mistakes. And that's also a thing, too, when it comes to forgiveness for other things and constant, because some people just don't understand that if you keep cutting people off in your life because of a mistake, then eventually, if you have to cut somebody off every single year and every single New Year's resolution, I'm cutting off all the negativity, maybe
you're going to burn a bridge you're going to need.
No, maybe
not even that you're going to need.
Not the world.
Oh my God. And people that think that someone can't change based on prior actions, I could go on about that forever.
But literally, just if you cut people off as often as you do, the problem isn't them.
The problem's
you.
And
I feel like that's something people don't know yet. And I feel like that's just something that needs to be out there, because I see it all the time. And New Year's had me pissed, because all these people, like, I'm cutting up all negativity and shit like that. And anybody who wants to criticize me I ain't going to listen to them, which is fine. You don't have to listen to criticisms, but if you want to grow, you're going to listen to it. Yeah, and maybe listen to some of it. Absolutely. But if it's bullying, just be like, hey, fuck you. But it's ignorance. Ignorance is what it is. Yeah. And ignorance does this thing too. Ignorance has, I heard this from a man named Daryl Davis, and I love this man to death. He said, ignorance has 3 symptoms. Ignorance leads to fear, and fear leads to hatred, and hatred leads to destruction. And all those are symptoms that you can just, don't worry about it, because symptoms, it's like it's like putting a Band-Aid on a tumor. No, you have to go deep to the bone, and that's ignorance. You have to take everything one step at a time, and every single decision that you make, you have to break it apart and really think about what you're doing. And sometimes I'm guilty of doing it. Everybody's guilty of doing it. But if you just constantly think about it, you learn so much in the long run. And that's something that I've definitely learned in between 2018 to 2020 at this very moment.
You know what? I think that is the perfect ending to this part of the show. Before we end, Kobe, I understand that you have a message that you want to say.
I do, but at the same time, I wanted to get to my goals.
Oh, yeah, well, I forgot.
Yeah.
Brandon, you want to go ahead? You got one? Or you?
Let's go ahead with you. We're running a bit long here.
Yeah, my phone's on 15%, so we do got to be wrapping it up. For me, like I was saying earlier, I've learned from every mistake I have. I dropped out of a 4-year, one of the best military colleges in the entire world. I dropped out of there because I was there and I was majoring in something I didn't really think I wanted to do. So I dropped out in December after just one semester, and I spent all of 2019 figuring out what I wanted to do. And I remember in the moment that I figured it out, I saw Beartooth in April live, and I knew from then on I wanted to be in music. And I've been an electrician and a maintenance tech all this whole time I've been out of college, but I'm working towards getting into music. I'm going to start with stage setup, stage lighting and sound, and then obviously if you want to be in music, 90% of people is to be an artist, which obviously that's one of mine. I think it'd be cool to be an artist one day, but since I think I'm fucking ass at singing or anything like that, I would love to be an engineer or a music producer one day. That's like my end goal. And I get told all the time by family mostly, they don't make a whole lot of money, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, that is some total bullshit. If you're a sound engineer, holy shit, you can make bank.
Yeah. But like my two,
especially if you do one for a like concert venue or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but I want to be either on a road crew with a band or a music engineer, producer. Maybe one day an artist. We'll see how that goes. That's one of them giant dreams. But yeah, that's my biggest life goal for sure, is to get into music. And because as a kid, I always loved listening to music since I was real little. I think the first artist that got me into music was Nickelback, oddly enough. But Nickelback was who got me into music. And I always got told by family that you can't do anything in music. It's blah, 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 blah. And I got to the point that I literally stopped talking to most of my family for a very long time because of the negativity. And I just got to the point that I'm going to do what I want to do. And I've told them before, like they'll tell me all the time, we're trying to tell you this because we've learned from it. I don't care if you've learned, I want to learn from it. So give me a minute to learn from it and I'll get back with you. That's just how I am. So yeah, that's my biggest life.
I mean, if you want to get into music, you live in like the perfect place to do that. We're in Music City.
Yep, absolutely.
If you put your mind to it, you should be able to do it. I mean, you just got to take those first steps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm working towards that right now. I actually have, I got to send in my resume sometime this week to, I don't know if y'all know them, Black Hawk Audio. They do audio for venues in Nashville. I think that's going to be my way in.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I hope you get that, man.
Yeah, because if that's really what you want to do, you're already taking that first step, even considering it, you know what I mean? And thinking about and planning it out.
Yeah, so, I actually just started recently. I got my uncle's guitar, and I've actually just started recently trying to teach myself how to play guitar, which, by the way, is a very fucking hard thing to do. But
it is, yeah.
I'm working towards it.
Just keep your heart on it, man. That's something with me. I've been playing guitar since 8th grade, and I get pretty unmotivated whenever I see people that are worlds better than me that started when I did. But the thing is, I wasn't motivated enough to learn anything else past what I learned already. And that's something that I regret as well. But I'm not motivated enough now to pick it up and learn it again. It's just like, well, I should have kept with it. But also, if I was meant to do it, I would have kept doing it at the same time.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? You got the last life goal?
Man, I've been so invested in listening to you guys. I haven't even thought of it. God. I don't know. I used to think that I wanted to be a like a lawyer or a doctor or one of those. And but I don't know.
I could easily see you as a doctor.
Yeah. I think that's the one that I've shied away from the most. Yeah, I don't know. This podcast has made me really start thinking about things more than I used to.
That's good,
because
though.
Sitting here
every now and then you got to take a step back and think about what you're doing and rethink what you want to do. I mean, that's what I literally took 2019 to do. was take a step back, because I used to just want to go to the military, and I wanted to be in military this, military that, which I'm still thinking about, but I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be, because like I said, I saw Beartooth, and from that moment on I realized that doing music is possible for anybody after getting told my whole life that it's not. So
yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
sorry about that.
Oh,
No, I actually want to say
Okay.
something about what you were saying, Kobe. I think that's like the biggest motivation when people tell you that you can't do something your whole life, and then literally one night will just change that completely, and you see that people who are ignorant of the subject be proven wrong right before your eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, Brandon, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
well. Luckily, you actually gave me time to think about what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I never thought that I wanted to do anything with like audio or stuff, but editing these podcasts is just a joy for me. Like the very first episode that we released, it took 8 hours to edit that, and it didn't feel like that at all. It was so fun. I don't know. I'm going back to college this next coming up fall, and I don't know. I'm thinking about taking some classes or something along those lines.
I plan on going this year for music engineering as well, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Where are you thinking about going?
Honestly, I'm not real sure yet. It kind of depends on my military plans. If I do decide to go to the military or not, which I'm still really iffy on. I don't know. I think about it every day. Because if I do go, I can go to a 4-year school and get it all paid for. But if I don't, I can use Reconnect and get a 2-year. So, not real sure yet about where I'm going to go. I just now I know what I want to go for, which is a really great feeling to have.
Does Reconnect cover like people who went to college and then are coming back right after?
If you have to be a certain age, there's like 3 requirements that you have to be. You have to be one of them. It's a certain age, something else, and you have to be a certain age, a veteran, or married. 20. You have to be 20. My wife just told me you have to be 25, a veteran. I'm pretty sure it is, or married, and you can use Reconnect. Because I used 1 year of Tennessee Promise while I was in high school, so I already fucked that up for myself. But I can still use Reconnect now that I'm married. That Reconnect is the same exact thing as Tennessee Promise, but just for people that aren't in high school anymore.
So what was the I've been thinking about it since we started discussing you being on the podcast, and you had a thing that you always wanted to talk about. What is it?
To close us?
Yeah, we have like a few things we have to fastly go through afterwards, but yeah, to close it.
Okay, that's good because my phone's on 10%. I just wanted to say, y'all heard me talk about it earlier. My uncle's no longer with us. He committed suicide back in 2014, and I've always wanted to say this publicly on a podcast or something. This is the biggest reason I've wanted to be on a podcast. If you're going through something mentally, you're dealing with mental health, depression, anxiety, etc., find somebody to talk to. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. It don't have to be a therapist or somebody like that. Find somebody you trust and love to talk to, and always talk before you think you're going to do something stupid, and take it day by day. That's the best advice I can give you, is take it day by day. Have hope that the next day is going to be better. And even if you don't have hope, just think about tomorrow being better. And whether it is or not, you can still push through it and take it day by day. And find somebody you love and trust to talk to, and just push through it. I promise it'll get better, and I promise you'll get through it.
Yeah. That's I completely agree with every single bit of that. And especially if you're fighting with somebody, and if you go to them, like, despite if you, like, if I'm gonna get sappy. If you're fighting with somebody over something dumb and you're going through a lot of mentally and like an emotional things, even if it's like your best friend and you're arguing with them, if you go to them and they still help you out, it's crazy. Just reach out to people, no matter the circumstances.
Absolutely.
Just reach out. You're not alone. Just reach out.
I have a really best friend of mine, Andrew Tobit, who we became friends because we were just texting, I think, about a school project or some shit one night. And it was a night that I was really struggling with anxiety, and he honestly saved my life that night. So you just got to talk to people, man. I know it sucks and it may be hard to talk to people, but that's what you got to do, is just fucking talk to somebody.
Yeah. And don't play it off. And when people say that they're actually struggling with something, don't play it off as like, oh, they're just messing around. I never play it off. Never play it off. Like, especially if somebody's ranting on social media about it, do something about it, because that's a cry for help sometimes. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, I've been guilty of doing it. Just, if you see that, message them. Just be like, hey, you all right? I mean, don't take it to extreme, because I'll tell you from experience, a lot of people like that, they don't want authorities to be involved or anything like that. They just want somebody to talk to. So just message them, ask them if they're all right. If they say they're fine, that's good, but still, like, talk about anything. Just, hey, how was your day today? Just little shit like that will help somebody out a shit ton. Yeah, and there's a phrase too. There's a phrase it's not even just a phrase. It's a statement. It's true. And when you say it, you better mean it. I swear to God, you better mean it when you say this to somebody. And it's somebody who, like, if somebody struggles with like serious depression and stuff like that as well, because half the time, if they're upset, they want to you go to them and you're like, hey, I understand you're upset and stuff. Is there anything I can do to help? But here's what you say to them. You always just let them know that you are there for them when they need you. Mm-hmm. And you better mean that when you say that to somebody. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. So, Same. Yeah. We've covered everything in this podcast.
I'm gonna put the phone number to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the show notes as well. Kobe, you mentioned that people don't want the authorities to be involved. I've heard a lot of people, whenever they talk about that hotline, they think that the authorities are going to be called on them, but no, they don't. They don't have any way to do that,
unless they truly think that you're in danger of hurting yourself or hurting somebody. They're not going to call anybody. They're just going to sit and they're going to talk to you.
Yeah, they're just there for you to talk to whenever you need someone.
You can call them. Do your little hello, and then you could just blow their ear up with all the bullshit going on, and they're going to be there to listen to it all.
Yeah. Well, I guess that about wraps us up. There's a few things that I forgot to mention in house cleaning earlier. For one thing, thank you to Alex Barber who did the new artwork on this show. And if anyone thinks that they can make something better, then you can always email it at us. We'll look at them all. And I just wanted to say thank you to Kristen, who did the runner-up one. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Me and Nate are going to go see Birds of Prey tomorrow, and we're going to record a bonus episode to this one. And we're going to post that on Wednesday, so 2 days after you guys listen to this one. And with that, I think that ends it. I just wanted to say thank you to Kobe for giving us 2.5 hours of his time. You really didn't have to do that.
No problem.
It's been a joy having you on here. Is there anything that you want to say before we go?
Follow me on Instagram KDE66 KDE, and Facebook Kobe Evans. I'm not letting anybody on my Snapchat. Fuck y'all. And shout out to my group chat, the fucking. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, Nate, got anything to say before we go?
Thank you for listening. I said a lot of stuff that I actually just let out off of my chest, so I appreciate everybody who listens. So thank you. And thank you, Kobe, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Hope they'll have me again.
Yeah, and thank you to all the people who actually got this far into the podcast. I know it's a very long one, but I think this one was really good. And you can follow Kobe on Instagram. I'll have that in the show notes, and you can also follow myself at Brandon Texalot on Instagram and at btexalot on Twitter, and you could follow Nate at Nate.
I figured you were going to say it. MasterNate17 on Instagram.
All right, I guess that's all for us this week. Thank you so much again for listening, and thank you, Kobe, for coming on. See you all on Wednesday, I guess.